Moment here. Screen. All right. I hope everybody had a great weekend. As Malik was alluding to before class started, please make sure that you're following the syllabus and see where you should be at in the reading. As I said in the beginning of the course, and when we went over the syllabus on day one, I don't go in order, and not every single chapter is being assigned. So you don't want to read any information unnecessarily. Like all of any information is good information, particularly as it relates to criminal justice. So if you do want to avail yourself to that information, feel free. But please make note on the chapters that you're going to be tested on and that your assignments will be based on. So again, you should see on your screen the Cengage breakdown. I'm sorry, the textbook. And the next chapter that we're going to read is Prisoner's Rights. So again, we just finished chapter 2. That looked at sentencing and correctional process. And one of the things that Malik asked is like, why we go in this order? Because like we talked about, again, the sentencing process and how the prison population is really increased. And I hope that you all are working steadily on the papers that speak to that, those patterns. But this dovetails to like the point about prisoners' rights is that we have like, again, just treated crime as, we got good people and bad people. And if we just lock these bad people away, everything will be all good. But in understanding this process, and when we talk about locking people up, it's also really important that we understand that, even the worst, most heinous of criminals have some rights with constitutionally protected rights within this system. So here's what I would like for you to do today. Again, our class normally meets from 2 p.m. to 3:20 p.m. I'm going to give you this time, Malik, to go ahead and get started on chapter 8. And then on Wednesday, when we start class, I'm going to ask you some questions from chapter 8. And I love to be able to give away some extra credit points. How does that sound to you all?
So you just want us to start on chapter 8, reading everything and doing activities?
Yeah, I think great point, Najir. I did not say the activities, but I would encourage you to go ahead and do the activities as well to test yourself. And
Okay.
also, like, even though I don't assign the Mind Tap Mastery, even though I don't assign them, if you do some of those, I'll give you extra credit for them too. It don't even matter how you do it. It doesn't matter how you do on it. I would just like for you to do it. Now, Nigeria, don't just be filling in no answers to get no credit. Really get some thought to it, okay?
I ain't gonna do you like that.
For sure. And then y'all come prepared on Wednesday. Be prepared to discuss some of this stuff. You ain't got to know everything. And don't just, Latasia, give me the textbook answers, okay? I want you to really know and understand this. And again, like, so look, we talked about last chapter. They're locking all these people up. But again, people have, so like when we, real quick before we, because I'm not going to hold y'all too long. Before you get into the chapter, when you think about prisoners' rights, what are some of those things that you think, that might entail? The right to do what? No wrong answers here, but the right to do what? What should that entail?
To plea bargain and to be safe and to be safe in jail and to like possibly if they got time for like a crime that's what they didn't do, they can keep petitioning it. So they want that just stuck there.
Excellent. Good. So they got rights to still continue. Like if, we talked about sometimes people are locked up and they didn't do it. They have a right to continue to appeal. They can't just have unlimited, but they do have a right to appeal, the verdict. The right to be safe in prison. Again, y'all have seen enough prison movies and shows to know that, it's not always the most secure spot. So even somebody like Dylan Roof, like he has a right for like, the black people not to jump, jump him and beat the hell out of him up in there. He has constitutionally protected rights. What are some other things that they may have that you all think that they either should or do have the right to? Anything at all?
You said what prisoners should have the right to do?
Yeah.
I feel like some prisoners, in my opinion, should have cell phones, because what the world, they already locked in the cells, so what else can they do? Like, I just feel like they should have the right to have cell phones in there. I mean, they already, some people already be having the phones, you feel me? Like, but it should be allowed for them, legally to have phones in the jail, in the prisons.
Okay, good. Very good. Others. Again, no wrong answers here. What do you think that they should have the right to do? And what do you think that they do
They have the
have the
right
right
for
to do?
they have the right for visitation, and then
Okay.
they should have the right for conjugal visitation. They used to, but they don't have it no more. But I feel it should be brought back.
Okay, good. So they should have the right for visitation from the outside world. And if they're going to be there for too long, they should have a right for a conjugal visit. That, again, forever is a long time. And in all sincerity, as I'm sure y'all are aware, that could potentially alleviate some other problems that happen in prison. Because again, when we think about these things, like your constitutional rights, it's a purpose to them, it's a rationale. So we want to think about, okay, what is the reason for you giving the right to free speech? What is the reason for you having the right to bear arms? You want to always think about those things. Anything else that you think, let's go with some things that you think are rights of prisoners. Things that you think are rights of prisoners. I think you're talking, Latasia, but you might have to unmute yourself.
Dr. Can you ask the question one more time?
What are some rights that you think that prisoners have in American correctional facilities? So look, chapter 8 is going to break this down in detail for you. So when I ask this question on Wednesday, I expect y'all to be able to give me some very specific answers to this, okay? Another thing, when we have rights here as outside citizens, like how do these rights get determined? How do we figure out what our rights are in the first place? How do we determine what our rights are? No wrong answers, but come on, talk to me, criminal justice people. And listen, if you can't answer questions like this today, it's not the end of the world, but I need y'all to believe me when I tell y'all, it is not a good look for a criminal justice student not to know these type of things. So when we have our rights, hell, it ain't good for Black citizens not to know these things. Few people in this country have their rights infringed upon more than Black people. This is made easier when you don't understand how your rights are formulated. So the right to remain silent is a right.
And it's from the
the right to I'm sorry, go ahead.
And it's from the Constitution.
Good. And then where else? So most of them start in the Constitution. Very good, Latasia.
Bill of Rights.
Say it again, Malik.
Bill of Rights.
Yes, still part, but that's part of the Constitution. The Bill of Rights are the first two are the first 10 of the Constitution. So there are additional rights that have come about through court cases. So your Miranda rights. But you got the right to remain silent. You have a right to attorney. If you ain't got one, then one will be appointed for you, yada, yada, yada. That came from a court case, Miranda versus the state of Arizona. So I say all of this, Nigeria, that in chapter 8, they're going to show you several court cases that inform where prisoners' rights come from. Again, as criminal justice students, Malik, these are things that you really, really want to familiarize yourself with. Most of these in your career, you're going to hear again and again and again and again and again and again. So it's going to be second nature by the time you like 10 years in your career. But I want y'all to get started on this now. So read, again, y'all got some time today. I know y'all want to take some time to chill. Get this out of the way, knock it out, and then you can be on to what you want to do for the rest of the day. And there's no reason why you can't read a large portion of this chapter. do that mind tap, get some extra credit, and then be ready for some extra credit on Wednesday. You got a head start from some of your classmates, so take advantage of this time. Is it clear what we're going to be doing on Wednesday?
Yes.
All right, please don't leave me hanging, y'all. I don't expect y'all to know everything, but don't come in here not knowing nothing. That is going to leave me very disappointed, and y'all know how I behave sometimes when I get disappointed.
Pretty cool.
All right, y'all have a wonderful afternoon. Keep working on them papers.
Okay, you too.